Hey everyone, Keith Locke here, Tips and Tricks HQ. In this quick video, I'm going to demonstrate how to enable debug within eMember for troubleshooting PayPal transactions. So either using the PayPal Buy Now button or PayPal subscription button when your customers are making purchases for your membership levels on your website. We're going to set it up so that we can write to the debug files to see if there's any problems that occur during the transaction. And the way to do that is we have to set it up within PayPal and let PayPal know what script to communicate with on our server with eMember, so that the communication can take place, so that we can learn if there's any problems during that transaction. So we're going to first enable IPN, and then we're going to set up the debugging within eMember. Alright, so let's get started. Right now I'm logged into my PayPal account. I clicked on Profile, then Profile and Settings, and then the left side here you can see My Selling Tools. This may look slightly different depending on what country you reside in, but it should be very similar. You should go right to the My Selling Tools sections from your profile, and right near the bottom here, Instant Payment Notifications. And what we want to do is make sure that's turned on. So let's click on Update here. Okay, currently it's disabled in my account, so what I'm going to do is click on Edit Settings. Now the notification URL, it has to be present, but it doesn't have to be the actual IPN notification URL on our server, because that information is encoded within the Buy Now button when using eMember. So it can be a different notification URL. However, I'm going to make it so that it's the actual home page of our website. And then I'm going to enable IPN, click the Receive IPN Messages button, radio button, and then click on Save. So now it says message delivery enabled, so it's able to communicate with back to our server now. So that's really all that you need to do within PayPal. So let's head back over to WordPress into the eMember settings and turn on debugging there. Okay, right back in here, WordPress dashboard. Let's click on eMember and in Settings. And we're going to land in the General Settings tab, and now what we're going to do is scroll down to the bottom to the Debug section. Here it is here. We're going to make sure that we turn on debugging by clicking the checkbox next to Enable Debug. And let's click on Update Options after that. Let's scroll back down, and just in case there was any data already in the debug files, you can clear it out here just so there's no confusion. Even though it's date timestamped, we can get rid of that information to do a fresh test. So I'm going to click on Reset Debug Log Files there. Alright, that's all set. Now, a few important things to make note of here. It's important, in order for PayPal to communicate with our server through the IPN script, the website has to be publicly accessible, so therefore it can't be locally hosted on a machine in your home. It has to be on the web, available publicly, and your website should not be password protected or have any maintenance or coming soon plugins installed or anything like that. It has to be publicly accessible in order for it to work. And if there's any older versions of eMember uploaded to the server, whether they're activated or not, those should be removed so there's no confusion or communication errors as a result of that. So we can get rid of all those old ones if there's any older versions in there. And the next step is to make sure that the IPN file is actually writable. The quickest way to determine that is to go directly to the IPN script. So what we can do is visit the home page of the website and then append this information to the end. So $eMember _ PayPal _ IPN = 1. We'll put that at the end of the URL of the home page to see if in fact the IPN script is writable. Okay, so it says debug is enabled, which we knew, and then we could check this file here, IPN _ handle _ debug _ eMember.txt, and then we can check it for output. So let's go back in here. And then it says here log file reset, which is what we did, and success. So that this is an indicator that when we browse to that file directly, this is the line that was put in, so that it does indicate that the file is in fact writable. If for some reason the file wasn't writable, one quick way, if you have FTP set up that's connected to the server, one quick way to make sure that file is right, or the log files are writable, is to log into the server, go into the WP-content folder, you're going to look for the plugins folder, go to WP-eMember, so head into the IPN folder, and then what we're going to do is right click the file, click File Permissions, and then make sure it's at least 644. This one is 664, good enough, and then once you make that change, just click on OK. And that'll make sure that that file is in fact writable. But it already was in this instance, but in the event that there was no data written to yours, that's what you would do. You log in by FTP, locate the files. Again, that's in WP-content /plugin /WP eMember /IPN. And then just right click on File Permissions. And then make sure it's set to at least 644. And then click OK. So do that for each of the log files if they weren't currently writable. Okay, now the next thing to do is do a test transaction, and that will write a bunch of data to the IPN log files. So you can there's an indication of what's going on, because there's a lot of things that a lot of steps, a lot of things that happen during the process. So what we're going to look for is all the lines written to those debug files, and make sure we see success in all of them. And if there's a fail at all in any of them, then we can pinpoint what part of the process failed and then rectify it from there. So I'm going to go ahead and do a test transaction here. I got a product set up. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Transaction was successful, so now what I'm going to do is look at the log files. So I'm going to go ahead and open this log file again just to see if it was written, if any data was written to it, and if there's any success or fail messages on it. Okay, I had to press refresh to get the data because I was pulling up all the old information. So this is an indication that everything was successful. You see a success message written to the file throughout the whole process. So if there was any fails at all, we could see what failed by reading what was on that line, and then we could pinpoint where it went wrong and rectify it on a case-by-case basis. But everything seems working fine, so we can conclude that everything's set up correctly with our IPN. All right, that's all there is to this. Again, this is Keith Locke, Tips and Tricks HQ. Thanks for watching.